Hi, Isaac. I'm going to read you a little book in English for a little break. It's called Lenny and Lucy. It's written by Phillip Stead. I think we read a book by him just recently, the garden one or something. Illustrated by, oh no, the one I couldn't understand. Oh dear. Illustrated by Erin Stead. Oh dear, couldn't understand the last one. But we'll give it our best shot, right? Cute little thing. Looks like they're going on a camping trip. I like the drawings already. Winding along a bumpy road through the dark, unfriendly woods, Peter said, I think this is a terrible idea. And mauvaise idée. Bad idea. And when they'd finally left the woods and stood safely on the other side of the wooden bridge, Peter said, This house is not as good as our old house. I want to go back. Oh, I don't think they're camping. Maybe they're moving. I'm not sure. But no one heard except for Harold, who was only a dog and couldn't do much about it, even though he wanted to. I like the pictures very much. The little details, little leaf, single leaf on a tree. Harold was a good dog. At night, Peter and Harold looked from the upstairs window past the wooden bridge out to the dark woods. Terrible things hid in the trees. Neither Peter nor Harold slept at all. Oh, I think I would like living in a place like that. I love the tall trees behind my house, and I love that there's things in there I don't know. And I certainly love that there are flowers. Oh, my flowers are sprouting and doing so well. So the next day, Peter made a tall pile of pillows, and after they toppled the pile 6 times, Peter ran inside to find just the right blankets. He stitched and sewed and wrapped the pile up, tying it shut with string. He pushed and pulled and kneaded the wrapped up pillows like dough. I wonder what he's doing. Oh, there's a bridge. Look at that. This looks like a beautiful place to live. Just beautiful. And to have a friendly dog and a fire in the fireplace. And when he was done, he named it Lenny, guardian of the bridge. Lenny will guard the bridge, said Peter, and keep the dark woods on the other side where they belong. Harold wagged his tail. So what he did with all the blankets is he made this giant creature. It's not made of snow. It's not going to melt. It's made of blankets. And he sewed it together and everything. Look at that. See the stitching? That's pretty enterprising for a young lad. Look at this young lad. He named it Lenny. Peter and Harold watched from the upstairs window. They felt safe knowing that Lenny was there. He guarded the bridge, silently, patiently, but with no one to keep him company. Look at them. There he is sitting there by himself, by the bridge, the single leaf on the tree, and then they're in their wonderful house up there with the flashlight. watching the dog and the boy. Oh, I like this book so much. This is one of my favorites. I love the colors too. It's black and white except for a few things and shades of gray. Do you think Lenny is lonely? Asked Peter. Then they worried about Lenny and his loneliness. Wait a minute. I don't think those are. I think that's the wallpaper. That's the wallpaper in the house. I was thinking those were flowers in bloom by looking at it through the screen, but I think those are wallpapers in the house. I mean, yeah, of course, because it's winter time. That's wallpaper on the walls. That's some pretty wild wallpaper. Do you know when I first moved here, they had wallpaper like that in this room? I know there's no pictures up yet, but this is an improvement. And no one slept at all because they were worried about is Lenny lonely. Oh, the dog and the boy are not getting much sleep. Worried about Lenny alone out there. So the next day, Peter brought breakfast to Lenny, toast and jam and a glass of milk. Then Peter gathered all the leaves on the ground and made a tall pile. And after they leapt into the pile 7 times, Peter ran inside to find just the right blankets. He pushed and pulled and kneaded and wrapped up leaves like dough. But that's kind of nice that they brought him his own breakfast of toast and jam and a glass of milk. This is a nice boy. He's not just enterprising. He brings his little creature, big creature, food, and he brings food that he likes. And he takes some time to play in the leaves with his dog. Oh, I've got leaves here. I've got leaves. I've got leaves. J'ai des feuilles. J'ai des feuilles, oui. Tu peux voir. You will see. When he was done, he named her Lucy, and Lucy was a good friend to Lenny. They finished their sewing. What a fun dog. He's got a leaf on his back right now. Maybe it fell from the tree. Oh no, they were playing in the leaves. There's Lenny, and there's Lucy. Oh my, he did a good job. Now they're not lonely. Everyone slept, and the dark woods stayed on the other side of the bridge where they belonged. Look at the owl up on the top of the house watching. The next day, Peter, Harold, Lenny, and Lucy played a game of marbles. Harold was a champion, everyone agreed. For lunch, they ate vegetable soup, and after soup, Peter began a collection of rocks. The others sat a while, watching the woods and wondering about the things they couldn't see. He's playing marbles. He's good at marbles. You know who else was good at marbles? Me. I was very good at marbles, and I still have a tall jar of them. Look, there's marbles all around where they're sitting. We'll play marbles. Oh, yes, we will. And they're all sitting there looking at the woods, wondering about the things they couldn't see. I like wondering about things I can't see. I like one at night when I'm outside and I just know there's creatures out there, and I just sort of like that. I like wondering what they are and what they're doing. One of the best things about my house now is I've got this giant balcony. Not giant, I mean this balcony with a giant window, and I go out on it at night and stand out there and look and listen, and it's quiet. But sometimes you hear little footsteps and things, and I feel completely safe because I'm inside or I'm up here, and the things we have here um, aren't wild and vicious like in some places they might be. Back to the book. Have you ever seen an owl? Asked Millie. Millie lived, I was about to say, who's Millie? Millie lived next door. She had binoculars that everyone could share, and a bag of marshmallows too. Looks like he's got a nice neighbor. Peter and his dog and his. Wait a minute here. Do you see how those creatures stood up? They stood up and they greeted Millie. Oh my goodness, I like this book. It's a bit magical and I like Millie. I love that drawing and I love her binoculars and her boots, and she brought marshmallows and she said, "Have you seen an owl?" Remember, we saw an owl while they were building Lenny and Lucy? Let me see if I can go back and show you the owl on the top of that building. I know I saw it. Maybe I just missed it. I definitely saw an owl. What's going on here? Where's the owl? I'm not making it up. I'm not imagining things. I know when I see my owls. Oh, sorry to be doing this, little guy, taking your time while I'm flipping the pages, but I saw an owl on the top of the building. Well, I guess I'll show it to you another time, but I remember seeing it. Curious? Well, there's one. I saw a different picture, but there's one picture of the owl. Where did it go? Right there. I saw it in another picture too. Anyway, I won't take any more time looking for it. I'll keep reading. Have you ever seen an owl? Asked Millie. Millie lived next door. She had binoculars and everyone could share, and a bag of marshmallows too. No, said Peter. I have never seen an owl. Harold hadn't either. But we have, because was an owl up on his house. So Peter, Harold, Lenny, Lucy, and Millie sat together, watching out for interesting things. You see the owl? Wonder if they see it. Right there. And a squirrel. Harold chased a squirrel or two. Looks to me like everybody's chasing the squirrel. And all the while, even after the lights were out, the dark woods stayed on the other side of the bridge where they belonged. I like this story. This is a very nice story. This is a very nice book, Lenny and Lucy. And now we've done some French. I've taken care of some emailing. I've read an English book too. I've sat with a few cats. I had already fed all the chickens, and now I'm going to get up and on with some other things. So you have a great day, little Malcolm. Little Malcolm. I called little Isaac Malcolm again, but I love you both, so it's a compliment. Have a very nice day, little Malcolm. Little Isaac. Oh mon Dieu. Bon, je termine en français. Bon, je t'adore. J'espère que ta journée est si belle et si gentille et beaucoup de temps avec ton père et ta mère et ton grand-père et ta grand-mère et aussi ta tante Mary. Et moi, ta grand. À bientôt!